Okay, so here we will talk about computational complexity of linear filtering technique. So how generally linear filtering technique can be carried out? There are two methods. One is DFT based method, another is filtering method, normal linear filtering method, considering this is a FIR filters and its implementation is a direct from one. Fine. Let's talk about DFT method first. What is it? There are few informations which are required before starting this particular computation and complexity calculation. That means endpoint DFT requires n by 2 log 2 base n complex multiplication if it is done via FFT techniques. FFT stands for first Fourier transform. So what generally is done if we consider this one as an LTI system where input is xn, hn is the impulse response, yn is the corresponding output. Input sequence length is capital L, filter length is capital M, and the output sequence length is capital N, where n equals to L plus M minus 1. That we know from linear convolution technique, right? So xk denotes the DFT of xn, hk denotes DFT of hn, yk denotes DFT of yn. As because the output is basically n number of samples, so all the DFT process are endpoint. So what is done basically? First we compute the input signal DFT, that is endpoint DFT of input signal. So what is the computational complexity? That is, computational complexity means we are mainly focusing on multiplications. Only the number of multiplications we are trying to count. Let's say this is k1. Second, what to do? After computing x of k, we multiply h of k with x of k, and assuming that h of k already been stored in my system, because we know about the filter and that is going to be the fixed because it is LTI, linear time invariant system, so it is never going to change under consideration of a particular filter. So we are assuming h of k already been available with us, so that computation we are not considering in this particular real-time process. So what to do? Basically, for computing y of k output DFT spectrum, we directly multiply the spectrum which immediately calculated x of k multiply the pre-stored spectrum h of k. So that requires again endpoint element wise multiplication. That means k2 is the number of computational complexity that is going to be equals to n, and we are assuming that h of k already been stored. That means the computation of h of k is not considered here in this real-time process, because every time it is required, so it is better to keep it stored prior of computation, prior of this real-time computation. So finally we have to get back yn signal from yk. So what's required for that? Endpoint inverse DFT process. So endpoint inverse DFT that requires k3 number of complex multiplications, right? So now what is the total complex multiplication required? Just addition of these three numbers k1, k2, k3. k1 is equals to n by 2 log 2 base n. If I just go back, k1 equals to n by 2 log 2 base n. k2, if we just go back, k2 is basically the number of element wise multiplication. That is how many number of elements wise multiplication? N number of element wise multiplication. So this is basically your n. And what is k3? The same number, because endpoint IDFT also takes the same number of multiplication, complex multiplication. So if we add these all three numbers, so basically total computational complexity is basically k1 plus k2 plus k3. That means if we add these two numbers twice into individual, that means n log 2 base n plus n into 1. That means this 1 again can be written as log 2 base 2. That means we can simplify it more, n log 2 base twice of n. So this many number of complex multiplication is required. This many number of complex multiplication is required. That's why this number is n log 2 base twice n. Fine. So the total complex multiplication per input samples. How many number of input samples? L. Per input sample means this number divided by capital L. That's it. Again, one complex multiplication, it basically equivalent to 4 real multiplication. Why this is so? Let's say two numbers A plus JB, C plus JD. So if we multiply this, one real multiplication, J, second real multiplication, then basically it is done. Now J, third real multiplication, and this is minus B into D. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 real multiplications are required. So that's why if we multiply this number by 4, that many number of real multiplications are required per unit samples. That's we are declaring by capital K. Okay, capital K, this total number. And generally the DFT computation, endpoint DFT computations via FFT, the values of n are generally taken as 2 to the power m, where m is any integer number. So either it would be 8, 16, 32, 64, that way, right? So finally the K value for per input samples, the real number of multiplications required for this particular linear transformation, for this particular system output computation and technique is required K number of real multiplications, that is equals to 4 into 2 to the power m, m plus 1, 2 to the power m minus m plus 1, right? So if we just take a look back, what is this? That was a number, right? So how it is coming, this one, that means this is n log 2 base 2 into 2 to the power m, and also we can write 2 to the power m divided by L, means L equals to n minus m plus 1. Already we have seen L equals to this is equals to that, so n equals to L plus m minus 1. So now if we just go back, L equals to n minus m plus 1, so this is equals to 2 to the power m minus capital M plus 1. So that's why the number is something like that. How it is coming here, if we just go and simplify it a little bit more, so log 2 base 2 to the power m plus 1 means m plus 1, 2 to the power m minus capital M plus 1, and if we multiply 4 with that, that is the number of real multiplications required. So whereas in case of direct form 1, basically as the filter of finite duration, so we may consider this one as a FIR filter, and in that case per input sample requires m number of this particular value, m number of multiplications, m number of real multiplications. Okay, so why this real? We are assuming signal as well as the coefficients of the filters are all reals. That's why this is the optimum, right? Even if the filter can be represented as a linear phase filter, FIR filter, then that can be bring down to a particular number m by 2 real multiplications. Fine, that is a special condition, but we are not considering this one because might be all the filters are not linear filters, linear phase filters. So that's why it is generalized to m number of points, m number of real multiplications required, right? So now what to do for analysis? We have to plot K versus M. That is, we have to plot K versus M and find the value, optimum value of small m. Optimum value of small m. What is it? Small m. Small m is this particular number, so that we can find out optimum n values. And while it is being achieved, optimum n value, from there we can calculate what is the minimum optimum number of input signal frame is required to perform this particular process more faster, right? And mind it, one interesting thing is that this particular technique, DFT technique, is basically becoming more and more efficient while the filter length is more, it's very higher, right? If it is a significantly lower value, so this particular DFT technique is not going to be efficient. In that case, it would be better to use this linear filtering method or linear convolution method to carry out this particular process, right? So let me take you through this particular simulation right now. Fine. So now if we just do that particular things here, right? So let me run this particular code. it's asking for filter length. Let's say I'm giving filter length equals to 50. Okay, filter length equals to 50 means I'm giving this particular value, this value as a 50, right? If it is a 50, then it finds that optimum M value becomes to be 9 and optimum signal frame length equals to 463. That means optimum L value is 463 and optimum DFT points, that is 512, that is capital N value is equals to 512. Fine. So now if we just go and see the curve, it's basically complexity, the value of K with respect to the different integer values of M, and we can see this particular line is denoting the complexity from DFT or from FIR direct form 1, and this blue curve is showing the complexity via DFT, and it achieves optimum value at M equals to 9. M equals to 9 means 2 to the power 9 equals to 512. Okay, so this is the experiment. So you can try different values of that. You can try 1024, let's say 1024, and you can find out that complexity via direct form 1 is very high, 1024, where we get some optimum value here. The curve is basically y-axis. Because I am also plotting this particular curve, that's why we cannot zoom it, but if we want to just make it so, are you getting this particular point? I hope this is a little bit clear about it, right? So optimum value is becoming to be 13, and you can verify optimum value is becoming to be 13 if it is not even clear. So I can go it further. So 13 is basically the optimum value. So if it is a 13, 2 to the power 13 equals to 8192 number of sample points should be there considered for capital N, and associated L value would be 7169. Okay, that's it for computational complexity of linear time invariant system output computation.